I really don't understand the ICE raid on the Hyundai power plant. It's so comically illogical that my first thought was somebody close to Trump from within his organization is trying to sabotage him by giving stupid instructions to ICE. Because one of the main reasons for tariffs is to encourage foreign companies to operate in US soil. And not for nothing, like that's a valid way to use tariffs. All my liberal friends became like the most obnoxious version of someone who's taken Econ 101, like, oh, tariffs get passed straight to the consumer. No, sometimes companies like Hyundai decide to build a factory in the USA to get around the tariffs. I'm not bringing that up to say like the tariffs were like a win. I don't know what the net effect of that was. But Hyundai building a plant in the USA to hire US workers to produce batteries for them to sell, that is literally the textbook scenario of success with a tariff. Literally exactly what you want. And then he raids it with ICE and gets rid of the people. The Koreans were there to set up the factory, which is harder than working at the factory, right? Is setting it up for the first time, and then train US workers to do the job. I tend to give people credit. Like Trump winning the 2016 election, a lot of you are too young to remember this. Like in 2015, Fox News and the Republican Party did not like him. He had to beat the Republicans, and then he had to beat Hillary Clinton to become president for the first time. So I've never thought that he was dumb. I don't think he's a mastermind, like, oh, 4D chess, like, you know, like I've seen those memes, like his supporters, like, I don't think that, but he's not dumb. But now I'm thinking that he might actually be. And everything else was like a crazy, happy, lucky accident. Like, that's very hard to believe. I think he was smart, and now his mind is starting to go. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. Like, what did he think was going to happen? Like, right or wrong, I can't even understand what his thought process was.
A woman who just went online bragging about being the reason 475 people were just arrested. It didn't go the way that you thought, did it? Because the way that you were so happy to share with the world voluntarily that you were the one that contacted ICE, that got that Hyundai plant that was in the middle of being constructed, completely shut down, and over 400 people arrested, most of them being Koreans, which you seemed kind of confused about until you realized that Hyundai is owned by Koreans, and that the reason they had so many people from other countries here was because they knew they were going to have to train Americans to do this job, because all of their instructions from Korea were in Korean. So they got approval to send people here to the United States to construct their massive facility in the way that you were like, now look, there's over 475 jobs that are now going to be available for people in Georgia because they weren't giving these jobs to Georgians. That's right, they couldn't give these jobs to people in Georgia because none of them spoke the language. And her narrative of bringing 475 jobs to people in Georgia are making the world laugh, because anyone who understands that they were just constructing this facility, this was going to be a facility that would have given nearly 9,000 jobs to people in Georgia. She had zero concept of that. All she saw were people from other countries in her state, specifically in her town, and it upset her so much that she contacted ICE and said that she was doing it because they had unsafe working environments and they weren't getting paid enough. So she contacted ICE. Because of her fight for the people of Georgia, they have lost all of their people who were going to train them for the jobs that this facility would have brought. The owners of this facility, the investors, the people paying for it and bringing all of these jobs into the state of Georgia, are now threatening to can it all. That's right, they are going to shut down this construction site, and they are not going to continue building their facility that would have brought almost 9,000 jobs to her state. Would have not known any of this had she not come online and bragged about it. Oh, and she's also running for Congress.
Hello everyone, I hope you are all doing good. Welcome back to this channel, and today we are diving into a deeply unsettling story that has sparked major controversy in the Asian American community and beyond. Imagine, guys, a white woman allegedly reported illegal Asian American workers to ICE. Yes, this one has led to their arrest, and as you can imagine, the fallout has been pretty intense. So what's going on here? Let me tell you, why is this making waves across the United States? We are here to break it down. So let's just get into this video. I'll be coming back with more commentaries. In case of any thoughts and comments, kindly let me know in the comments section. Stay tuned.
So there were 452 illegals apprehended at the Hyundai mega plant construction site yesterday near Savannah. And I was the one that reported the information that I had to ICE. But it goes beyond just someone working illegally. Let me explain to you. These people are working for slave wages. Some are not getting paid. Some are being trafficked. They send money home to their country. They give money to their handler. They have hardly anything left. They live in homes 5 families deep, have no quality of life. It's modern day slavery. So if you think that ICE is just going in and ripping people out of their jobs, these hardworking people that want a better life, well, guess what? Politicians have really screwed these people, because when they came here, they thought they were, hey, the border's open, we're coming in, we're going to get the 5-star treatment, and we can go to the big Walmart, and we can live in a 5-star hotel, and that's just not how it is. It's very bad conditions, very inhumane, and the Biden administration started a humanitarian crisis. So y'all can't just look at it like they're ripping good people off the job. They're probably saving their lives in the long run. The way these people were being treated is what matters. I didn't know a damn thing about the Koreans. That wasn't my dish. And obviously that's being investigated because they had work visas that had expired.
First of all, Tori, you look like the love child of Kate Gosselin and Mama June. Second, you should see what the President of the United States has to say about this, because he's walking this back as well.
It's a battery factory in that case, as I'm told. And, when they're building batteries, if you don't have people in this country right now that know about batteries, maybe we should help them along and let some people come in and train our people.
Because Hyundai, pronounced like Sunday, not Hyundai like you're saying, is a Korean company. So it makes sense in this instance that Hyundai would send Korean nationals over to train people as those factories are being built. And I notice you have your comments turned off in your most recent video, so it sounds like someone can't take the heat. Because you potentially royally screwed up the Georgia economy. You're risking potentially up to 8,500 jobs. And you said that you didn't know that there were Korean workers there, which means that you probably didn't know anything at all. Because if it's already difficult for you to pronounce Hyundai, then, I'm assuming that a lot of other things are probably difficult for you too. But anyways, have the day you deserve.
Did you see these videos of an immigration raid at a Hyundai construction site in Georgia? Listen to this.
Warrant for this entire construction site, okay? We're Homeland Security. We have a search warrant for the whole site. We need construction to cease immediately. We need all work to end on the site right now.
This happened at the construction site for the Hyundai and LG Energy Solutions new battery plant in Georgia, where agents from FBI, DEA, ICE, HSI, Georgia State Patrol, and others detained 450 people, including more than 300 Korean nationals. According to reports, agents went into the facility and asked everyone if they were U.S. citizens. Then they put U.S. citizens on one side and everyone else put on the other side and harassed and forced to show their immigration paperwork. Because of the raid, the South Korean government is very concerned about its company's investments in the U.S. and the treatment of its people. The South Korean government is trying to figure out why the construction site was raided, saying that the detained South Koreans had entered the U.S. on a B-1 temporary visitor visa. However, it is unclear if those workers subsequently tried to get a work visa or if they even knew that they couldn't work with the visa they had. But like we have seen from this administration, they're going after migrants regardless of their status. Hyundai did say that they're working with the U.S. government in the investigation, but if this is how the U.S. is going to treat workers, maybe more companies and potential employees should reconsider coming to the U.S. Look, I'm not trying to defend corporations that are probably taking advantage of their workers and their status. I'm concerned about the people. A lot of people were detained, which means kids probably went home with either one or both of their parents missing. These are people who are working, most likely paying taxes, and their only infraction is probably not having the proper paperwork to work in the U.S. And out of desperation, they took a job. This could all be a lot easier if the U.S. government actually let people adjust their status. If you think these people can migrate all the way to the U.S., get a job, pay taxes, but somehow they're not smart enough or law-abiding enough to adjust their status, then you have no idea how the immigration system actually works. This government makes it intentionally difficult for people to adjust their immigration status. Or in the case of the Trump administration, revoking people's status to make them undocumented. So undocumented people can be exploited, used as pawns in these political games, and at the end are the ones that are blamed for everything while the bosses and corporations get off free.
So there were 452 illegals apprehended at the Hyundai mega plant construction site yesterday near Savannah. And I was the one that reported the information that I had to ICE. But it goes beyond just someone working illegally. Let me explain to you. These people are working for slave wages. Some are not getting paid. Some are being trafficked. They send money home to their country.
You didn't save them anything. You got 475 people arrested and thrown into detention. You made their lives infinitely worse. Before I continue, if any of this matters to you, like and follow. Let's call this what it is. It's a textbook white savior complex. You talk about modern day slavery because it lets you play the hero. But if you actually care about exploitation, you know that actions like yours never punish the people at the top. Hyundai made it very clear. None of the detained workers were their direct employees. They were all hired through subcontractors. So when you call ICE, you didn't get the multi-billion-dollar corporation in trouble. You got their victims punished. You targeted the people trying to find a better job than they could get back home. Why not go after the companies that profit from this system? Because that's hard work. Calling ICE on the vulnerable, it's easy. You claim you were saving them. Saving them from what? A bad job? Now thanks to you, they're in an ICE detention facility facing deportation. You didn't end their exploitation. You just made the US government final exploiter. You aren't a hero. You're just a tool that powerful people use to clean up their messes. Let me know what you think in the comments. Like, share, follow for more.
This woman who goes by the name Tori Brenham is the reason why the ICE raid happened at the Hyundai facility in Georgia. Now, if you don't know who this woman is, she is running for Georgia's 12th congressional district as a Republican. And there is a huge Rolling Stone article confirming that it was indeed her. In this article, she talks about how she came in contact with a local Spanish-speaking union worker who had access to the site. And it was through this informant, Tori Brenham heard rumors that they were using undocumented labor on this facility. And she also heard rumors that 3 workers got unalived during construction. So Tori over here blew the whistle on the Hyundai facility over a rumor. And what's really crazy is that she is proud of what she did, because she is quoted by saying, "This is what I voted for, to get rid of a lot of illegals. And what I voted for is happening." But the problem is not everyone who was detained was undocumented. For example, 2 people who were detained were engineers from South Korea, and they came to the US to briefly advise on the work. Some had even visa waivers and were prohibited from working. And we had some people who overstayed their visas. But there was definitely no mass influx of illegal workers in there. Now, I'm very curious to see how this is going to affect people voting for her for this 12th congressional district. Will it hurt her or will it help her chances? But it is definitely a risky move having an ICE raid on a huge facility like Hyundai in Georgia, because Georgia got the biggest investment from any country.
So guys, the Asian Americans are outraged as this white woman reports illegal Asian American workers to ICE for arrest. And in this video, we are here exploring this intense backlash from the Asian American community, because this white woman reported the undocumented Asian American workers to ICE, leading to their arrest. So this incident has sparked widespread outrage, and it has raised serious concerns about racial discrimination, about immigration enforcement, and the impact on immigrant communities. So that is why we are here to discuss these reactions from Asian American leaders, the activists, and the ordinary citizens who are demanding justice and accountability. Guys, what does this incident say about the intersection of race, immigration policy, and community safety? So guys, let's just watch these remaining clips. I'll be coming back with more commentaries. Stay tuned.
Did you guys see the video of that woman from Georgia who says she's the one that reported the Hyundai workers to ICE? And she fancies herself a hero, saving them all from the human trafficking they were experiencing, these horrible working conditions, these low wages, this lack of housing. She thinks she's the hero in this story, saving them from this. And of course she blames Biden. I do not understand the minds of conservatives. They see victims of human trafficking in this story, and their solution to the problem is to first blame Biden, and second, arrest the victims. I just don't understand them. So let me show you. So this is the Trafficking Victims Protection Act. It's a federal law. It prosecutes employers, not the victims, and it prohibits them from having forced labor, basically, There's criminal charges, fines, prison sentences, and then victims can sue for civil damages. Who do you want to bet voted against this? Who do you want to bet? Who do you want to bet that prevents victims from suing their employers? Who prevents victims from getting compensated fairly? Who prevents victims from having fair housing? Who do you want to bet are the politicians that prevent these victims from getting what's due to them? Because what they want to do instead is arrest the victims. These people are the cruelest people. They have no empathy. And also no ability to think logically about situations. I just don't want to be here with these people anymore. They really have no understanding of reality. They live in a completely distorted reality. And anyway, that's it.
Oh yeah, guys, we are coming to the conclusion of this video, and the incident centers around a white woman who is said to have contacted United States Immigration and Customs Enforcement, commonly known as ICE, to report a group of undocumented Asian American workers. So according to reports, these workers were targeted based on their race, and their immigration status was revealed after the woman allegedly tipped off authorities. Yes, now I know what you are probably thinking, guys. Why would someone single out a specific group of people? And I hear the speakers here said that this lady is aspiring to be, I don't know, these political seats. Yeah, so why would someone single out a specific group of people, especially minority group like Asian Americans, for reporting to ICE? Yes, and why does this particular case have people so upset? We are here to break this down. Kindly let me know your thoughts in the comment section. And after the arrests, Asian American communities across the nation voiced their outrage, and it didn't take long for activists, community leaders, and even everyday citizens to speak out. So many are calling this a clear example of racial targeting and discrimination, especially given the complicated relationship between Asian Americans and immigration policies in the country. So here is the thing. Asian Americans, particularly those from immigrant backgrounds, have long been navigating a delicate balance between being part of the American fabric and dealing with racial stereotypes, immigration issues, and discriminatory practices. So this event highlights the vulnerability of immigrant workers who often face exploitation and a lack of legal protection. And for many, this is not just about one woman making a call to ICE. It's about the larger ongoing systemic issues that disproportionately affect immigrant communities. ICE raids, the deportations, and the fear of being separated from family members have left deep scars within immigrant communities, and this incident only adds fuel to the fire. Yes, so, and it's not just about the workers who are arrested. The message this sends is very much chilling. It creates an atmosphere where people start fearing for their safety, not just from ICE, but from their neighbors, their colleagues, and even strangers who might report them based on their race or nationality. And the question has become, how safe are Asian American communities in this climate? And in response, many Asian Americans, the activists, they have spoken out. They are also stressing that racial profiling must be addressed, not only by policy, but in the way people engage with each other in everyday life. And community leaders are pushing for more protection and support for immigrant workers, including calls for sanctuary cities and stronger anti-discrimination laws. But this situation also brings up a more complex issue. The tensions between Asian American community and also immigration enforcement aren't just a matter of race. They are tied to broader immigration debates, issues of labor exploitations, and the history of Asian Americans in the United States, whether it's the Chinese Exclusion Act or the Japanese internment camps during the World War II. Asian Americans have faced long-standing exclusion policies that still echo today, and these historical injustices have shaped the way Asian Americans view immigration enforcement, and incidents like this one reignite those painful memories. Guys, You know, this is a reminder. It's a reminder that while we have made progress, the road to true equality is still a long one. And so let me know your thoughts about this. What can we take away from all of this? First off, this story is a reminder of how important it is to be vigilant against acts of racial discrimination and to recognize how immigration policy and impact marginalized communities. It also sheds light on the urgent need for immigration reform, one that centers on justice, equity, and humanity. Yes. So, and while the outrage is real, there is also been an outpouring of support from people across the country who are coming together to stand against these injustices. From rallies to petitions, the push for stronger protections for immigrant workers is growing louder. And as we wrap up today's video, let us know that what you think in the comments. How do you feel about the actions of the woman involved, and what do you think needs to change in the way America handles immigration and racial profiling? Yeah, of course, all credit belongs to the original creators of this video. This video is meant for educational purposes and commentary purposes as well, and those people who may feel entertained, it is also meant for entertainment purposes. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more updates and also in-depth analysis on social justice, immigration, and racial issues. And remember that change always begins with awareness, and awareness begins with conversations like this. Thank you so much for watching. Have a nice time. Be blessed. Stay in peace.